It was the second year of engineering, and my uncle said, Navneet, if you don't have clarity about what you want to do in your career now, you will never have any clarity. Those words hurt because he was a father figure to me. And I was the Adarsh beta of the family. I checked all the boxes. I was a beautiful son. I scored good grades. I was the valedictorian. You can see the nerd there. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I'm Navneet.
Good evening.
Good evening. Today I'm going to share 3 stories from my life which have shaped me. But before that, a short introduction. I was born in Bangalore and grew up in a family that was addicted to cricket. Almost. Because my mother inevitably had to cheer the 3 fools. That is my father, my brother and myself, who were cheering the 22 fools on the field out there. Right? Despite that, I'm eternally grateful to sports for instilling in me the life lessons that I could never receive from anywhere else. So on to the first story. I was a freshly minted software engineer at Accenture, having my honeymoon. But the honeymoon came to a close very quickly. Why? Because the monotony of a corporate job hit me within the very first year. And I did what all my nerdy friends did. Monkey see, monkey do. I joined the CAT coaching, GMAT coaching, and the entire gamut. Long story short, 4 years attempting CAT, the GMAT, I finally received an admit to the Tata Institute of Social Sciences. But looking back, I remember the drill, day in and day out, returning from office, beginning my CAT classes. In the weekends, that is the Saturdays or Sundays, spent at the coaching center. And finally, the result board which showed up as me missing the cutoffs by a few percentage points. It hurt, it stung, but I knew I had it in me to bag a seat. That's what sport taught me. To never say die, never give up, and continue and persevere. The second story is about teamwork. I love the mountains, and the Himalayas are my favorite. After a few short treks, I enrolled into the basic mountaineering course at Nehru Institute of Mountaineering. It was a 4-week course. It consisted of rockcraft, where they taught us how to boulder sheer rock faces, rappel down vertical cliffs that were over 100 feet, snowcraft, where they helped us trek through snow which was knee-deep, or even set up a tent on a snowfield. Or let's say icecraft, where I learned to climb the ice wall of a glacier. It was exhilarating. But what was most memorable were the friendships I made and continue to foster even today. Well, imagine a night where you're at 15,000 feet. The snowstorm is ravaging, 3 days and counting. And each of us have to stay awake, take turns to step out in the snowstorm and take the snow away from our tents. Otherwise, the tent will cave in. Those were the kind of experiences that we had out there in those 4 weeks. Yet, I received grade B. Why? Well, I was actually ensuring that my friend who got injured and had a swollen ankle was not left behind, and I ended up at the back of the group, or the row as it was called. Yet, I also knew that teamwork was not the only metric that was being used, but command and control were very important, especially in the mountains. Whether a team leader is competent enough or not, you need to obey those instructions. But long story short again, I came back 4 years later and secured an A grade and moved to the advanced mountaineering course, which will help me become a high altitude mountaineer. The final story I want to leave you with is about an accident I had 5 years back. I was left immobile waist down with injured knees and swollen ankles. For one who has thrived all of childhood through sport and built his identity through sport, where movement was another. Well, it was deeply depressing, but sport helped me get my identity back as an athlete. How? I went and picked up Roman rings, the round gymnastic rings, Of course, my lower body was out of order, temporarily, but my upper body was still alive and kicking. Pun intended there. So, I began exercising, but 3 months into my rehab, I still hadn't recovered, and running was a far cry. Again, sport came to my rescue. What if I can't move vertically? I can move horizontally. That's when I discovered my love for swimming and water. And to this day, the pool is my comfort zone. The pool is my go-to place, whether I'm injured or not. You can see the tan. Toastmasters and guests, if there's one thing I want to leave you with, it's the doggedness that I carry to pursue a path, to stay the course despite multiple falls and punches. And I realized that clarity is something that's not just knowing where to go, what to become. It is also nurturing my own self, treasuring my own self, developing my own self, and fostering that particular identity. And that identity is about becoming a persuasive and a powerful speaker. And I know that my journey has begun today with Sunshine Toastmasters. Thank you.